The second cause of death in Spain is cancer. Thus, it has become one of the first priorities in biomedical research. Each day, the understanding of how and why a tumor evolves grows through step-by-step research. In this manner, new ways to overcome cancer are found and developed. A new project, the Clinical Research Program advanced by CNIO, pioneer in Spain, will further the understanding and treatment of this illness group that is called cancer. CNIO has been our country's leader, taking further the research into our knowledge of cancer. Even though it was founded in 1998, it is not until 4 years later that it begins its work. The new headquarters are integrated into the old Hospital Victoria Eugenia, located at the campus of the Instituto de Salud Carlos III, and which was adapted to the needs of the new center. Although it was established by the Ministerio de Sanidad y Consumo, CNIO has been merged with the Ministerio de Ciencia e Innovación since the spring of 2008. Through these years, CNIO has become the most productive center in Spain according to surveys in the most important international scientific publications. Nowadays, more than 500 researchers work at the center, of whom more than 25% are from other countries. None of this would have been possible without proper funding and a flexible administrative model, which have permitted the CNIO to attract first-level research groups, not only local but also international, as well as rendering it able to advance a new model of overall research that encompasses from the fundamental investigation of molecular mechanisms to the discovery of new drugs, to shorten the time elapsed from the beginning of the research until the oncological patient can benefit from the results of each study. It can be said today that these objectives have been achieved, but further research remains to be done. As Ortega y Gasset once said, "We can only advance forward if we look afar." With the advance of the clinical research program, CNIO is making fundamental progress towards a new hope for these patients affected by various types of cancer for which there are still no effective treatments. Thus, these patients now become the first to benefit from the newly effective treatments being developed, tested, and validated by our labs. The clinical research program at CNIO relies on state-of-the-art technology that is complemented by molecular procedures developed by the research units at the center in order to obtain fundamental information about the nature of each cancer, ensuring in this manner the success of the program. To be noted is the design of new generation sequencing, which allows the researchers to decode individual tumor genomes, which in turn permits us to unveil all mutations responsible for tumor development, and thus enables us to apply the best individual therapy. CNIO evolves thus through the clinical research program into a comprehensive cancer research center, allowing it to fulfill the purpose of its founding, which was to shorten the time elapsed from the beginning of the research until the oncological patient can benefit from the results of each study. Because, in the fight against cancer, time is fundamental. CNIO's new program is unique in the sense that, for the first time in Spain, this kind of research through clinical testing is encouraged and funded by public research institutions and not by the pharmaceutical industry, even if such joint ventures are being considered in the future. Thus begins a new and most important era in the field led by CNIO, with the support of the Comunidad de Madrid through the Consejería de Sanidad and the Ministerio de Ciencia e Innovación, along with the Ministerio de Sanidad y Consumo of the Spanish government. These institutions will finance and provide the necessary infrastructures and clinical services until the clinical program obtains its own funding. The Hospital Universitario de Fuenlabrada aids and supports the efforts of CNIO's clinical research program, belonging to the public health system of the Comunidad de Madrid, equipped with the best infrastructures for clinical testing, wholly computerized image diagnostics, overall access to clinical and sanitary services available at all modern hospitals, state-of-the-art medical technology, and the best and most comfortable environment that would allow a prompt and effective recovery of all cancer patients. Such an ambitious project requires clinical infrastructures of the utmost quality, so it will occupy an exclusive area of almost 5,000 square meters within the Hospital Universitario de Fuenlabrada, which will be dedicated to oncology services and will work in intimate cooperation with the hospital and CNIO's program, cooperation that will be essential for the success of the program. Over 230,000 inhabitants of the area benefit from the Fuenlabrada Hospital, which is also involved with the Universidad Rey Juan Carlos. This hospital is particularly recognized in the oncology field, in which it has obtained remarkable results. The Oncological Assistance Program deserves special mention, not focused in a specific service, but looking for the highest level of efficiency in the treatments and the best quality of life for the patient. It is also important to note the Advanced Image Diagnostics Service, fully computerized, that matches the advanced oncology model of this center, without leaving apart the research activities open to multiple areas and projects. In order to deal with the best technology, the best human resources must be available. CNIO prides itself in the compromise that the best possible specialists have made with this project. The project will be led by Dr. Manuel Hidalgo, only recently returned from 12 years of intense work in the United States. One of the best digestive cancer specialists, Dr. Hidalgo is also an associate professor at the Johns Hopkins University of Baltimore. The program has already advanced work in a research unit led by Dr. Christopher Hessian, pioneer in the work with stem cells, which are those believed responsible for the growth of cancer tumors. Dr. Hessian is also a scholar in the oncology department at Munich's Ludwig Maximilian University. It has been planned that CNIO will incorporate new oncologists to the project, specifically young scientists from the best oncology institutions worldwide, reaching a staff of over 100 professionals by the end of 2012. The research at CNIO's clinical program is centered in early clinical testing with new generation molecules directed against molecular targets. The results of the program will mainly benefit patients treated with newly developed drugs, but in the long run will also benefit the general population due to the globalization of all such therapies once they are established as reference treatments for oncological protocols. Moreover, the clinical research program advanced by the CNIO, supported by La Comunidad de Madrid, and financed by the Spanish government, will remain open to cooperation with other centers of the national health system through the associated clinical units. Finally, this program will place Spain in the worldwide health and scientific elite and represents a giant step in a very hard fight. A fight that will benefit the whole society and that step by step will continue to gain ground in the fight against cancer.